The only time I feel alive is when I'm painting. I love that. Vincent van Gogh said that some time ago. Today, we're going to paint some tea roses, and the name of this painting is Tea Rose Garden. I love roses. I could spend a lifetime just painting roses. As Shakespeare once said, a rose by any other name is still a rose. Isn't that true? Look at these flowers. They're just wonderful. Did you ever look inside a rose and actually see how it spirals, how it draws the eye in? It's wonderful. And then we have the little daisies. Daisies in a painting, to me, are like little children, unruly children. They're running all over the place. Some are going up and some are going down. They have their little eyes looking at you. Then we have the mama daisies. They're there watching the little children. Yeah, it's wonderful. Let's take a look at the painting. Oh boy, look what we're going to do today. This is the power of simplicity, of how we just have two roses, a pink and a yellow. We don't have a lot of garbage and a lot of stuff happening. So this just shows you how simple paintings are very powerful. Notice the action of the green coming down. It goes from actually one corner to the other. Let me show you the background up here, how we get started with this, because this is very important. This is a 14 by 18. I already have some paint on there. And this is acrylic. And I use a fairly large brush, and the strokes are going from the left to the right. And it's acrylic, which is a water-based paint. I have white up here, I have some green, touches of black, little touch of yellow. And on our technique tape, I'll be showing you how to do all this stuff, because I know there's a lot right here. This is a lesson in itself on how to paint backgrounds. I have a coat on here that you can't see, but I put a thin coat of linseed oil. You put it on, and then you wipe it off, because you don't want a lot of drippies. Now the first thing we're going to do, we'll come down and pick up, this is Phthalo Red Rose and White. And I'm going to come up here and find where the roses are located. Just kind of a loose sketch. This is so when we put our dark green in there, we don't get a lot of paint in the area where the rose is. The next one, it will be up here. Now it doesn't have to be dark, it's better if it's not. So it's just light enough so you can see it. Actually, at home, you probably might not it's barely visible to you, but it's good. Just make it dark enough for you. If you go too dark and you're trying to paint a light rose, all that dark line work would get in and you'd have trouble. Okay, let's come on down to the palette. Look at the color we have down here. Let's see, we have ochres, we have mauves, which I've broken down with yellow. It's very hard on some of the colors to tell just what it is until you break it down with white. So you can see it's sort of a beautiful mauve color. We have alizarin, and we have orange and yellow. We have black in case we need it. We have sap green, sienna, cerulean blue. I also have some gray, which is black and white, which I've mixed up in case I want a neutral color. Phthalo Red Rose, beautiful color in white. Okay, let's take, my medium is linseed oil and odorless turp. I also have another jar that is just plain turp for cleaning my brush. Let's take some of this and work it into the brush. That's sap green and sienna. And we're going to come up and remember that brush, that crisscross stroke. Put that in. We might have a stem. We keep our stem skinny, and we might, whoa, look, sometimes my hand keeps going. Those leaves keep, stop it. Boy, I tell you, no. My hand keeps wanting to paint leaves, and it has a mind of its own, and sometimes it gets a little unruly. Okay, now, we're going to come down here. Green and sienna. I know. Sometimes I get a little weird up here. As I've mentioned before, most people that paint are a little strange. They don't quite see things the way normal people do. Look at that. Now this has, I put more medium with the paint, which makes it very transparent. What is wonderful about the acrylic is that it seals up our canvas. Even though we have the best canvas made out there, and this is Portrait Smooth, the acrylic even seals it up more so that your strokes just go gliding across the surface. Let's put in a couple of these. Look at that. Watch the stroke. It's flat and turn, flat and turn. This is a form of sumi painting, or sometimes it's called sumi-ai painting. I actually don't really know how to pronounce it properly, but it's really comes from the Japanese, and it's a stroke like that. Watch it go. Watch it go. Notice how thin. You see how you can see right through that? That's good stuff. We're going to come over and take some green and sienna. And now I work from dark to light. That's why you see me putting in all these dark colors first. But I want to zap it. Let's come on down to our paint down here that's full of nice pigment. It's not that soft stuff full of fillers. We're going to take this and hit it. Notice the stroke. It's a curved stroke. Orange, orange. And we're going to throw some of that in. You know, when I do my paintings, I like to get these colors in there. I like to make it sing. I like to set a high note. It sets a high note in the painting so that this note, you just leave it there. It's like a note in an orchestra. Maybe it's a clarinet, and it's a high note you hear in the background, just this high note. It stays there. It stays there. And it's like it's hanging over the orchestra. This is what this note is doing. It's hanging there. And while everybody else comes in to support the high note. Yes. This is why music and painting they're brothers and sisters. Woo, back and forth. Let's get, whoa, we don't want a red leaf. Let's get some green and sienna. And there, boom, boom. Yes, 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 yes. Now, look at how we're working. Our high note is still there. It's still hanging in there. Let's just leave it hang. We're going to take some white with a little green, a little touch of medium. That green is sap green. And let's get this going here. Just throw some of that stuff in, maybe a little more white, just a touch. Yeah, look at that go in. Notice the action, how it's turning different directions. Maybe a little shot right in here. You better get on those roses. Woo-hoo, I get so carried away doing stuff that I forget we have to paint our roses. What color is this? This is yellow ochre and a touch of orange. Now the base tone that you put in a painting has to be put in very thin. You must study your flowers, guys, especially your roses. The rose is the most beautiful flower and the most unforgiving and the most difficult. I know it is. Now we're going to take a little phthalo red rose and stick some of that in there. And pull it out. All this does is set the center of the flower down. Let's take a little crimson. Really get that center in there. Notice how I come in and then out. Okay? Because I'm getting ready for petals on both sides. We must brush it out. Let's take some of that red all the way out. Let's borrow some of that red and put it down here. Notice how this red is tying in with our note that we left, our high note. We left just hanging. Let's just leave it hanging for a while. The supporting actors will come in just a minute. This is phthalo red rose and white. Beautiful pink color. And let's take that, overlap the back one. If it pulls some of the color in, that's what we want. We don't care what's inside. All we want to do is, we're just concerned with the outside edge. So look at, we're taking some of that high note and pulling it in to the flower. Yes. We are only concerned with the outside edge. So when you're working from real flowers, you want the outside contour to come as close to what the flower that you're painting as possible. Let's come down. We need to set our center in. there's our center. And we pull that out. Yes, 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 yes. Okie dokie. And we're going to take a little of that in there. And now there's a belly of the rose, right? We're going to take our dark and put it underneath to bring the belly out. Actually, over here, we'll take a little of that red. Now, the painting that I'm working from, I never match it exactly when I come up here. Every time you do a painting in this technique, it's going to turn out different. And that's the beauty of it. Why do you want to do cookie cutter paintings where one painting looks exactly like the other? Oh, you might just move some things around, but basically it's still the same painting. And that's why if you don't have a little variety, a little of your basic fine art approach, you're going to be in trouble where everything's going to look the same. Whoa, okay, we're going to take, this is, what is that? Orange and white combination. Now, a lot of you guys watching this show, I know you're beginners. So let me show you what you need to, how to stroke a petal. Say there's a rose petal there, and there's a rose petal there. These are petals that are up in the air. You have a vanishing point here and here. Now this is what you need to do when you're learning. Actually put some really skinny little lines going towards that vanishing point. All you do is take your orange and white combination. You're going to come up here, bend those hairs about halfway down, and follow your lines. And there's your petal. Let's do it again, because I know your mouth is open and you're going, oh, it can't be that easy. Let me show you. There's the lines. Follow the lines. There's another one. You think you can do that? Now this is the middle tone. We'll be highlighting it in a little bit. Okay, let's take another petal. We have to round the corner. We have to bring the eye around. So we have a petal this way with its vanishing point in the back. We'll put our little lines on. And we follow the lines. And there's another petal. This will be in the book, guys, so if you forget, it'll be in there for you. Watch. Now, that's all I'm doing when I do any of this. I find a vanishing point, and in goes the petals. I'm going to come around the outside, which is just a scalloped edge, no biggie. Now notice these strokes all heading towards one point. You'll get to a point where you don't have to put your little points on. You'll visualize them in your mind's eye. They'll just kind of be there. We're going to come up here and pick a petal out. Now I'm using paint very dry. You don't want medium because we already put a base tone on here and it's very wet. As we come in, the strokes get smaller, 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 and you just sort of hit in there to get just a feeling of petals. You see it happen? Can you see how easy it is? Now, again, this is what we call the middle tone. Now, your petals that lay down, your stroke starts the opposite way, but it's still heading towards that point. Yes. And we stroke, stroke, stroke. Now, look at how it's picking up the green. Very important. Here, I have a petal way out in the green area. But look how that just went into shadow underneath. This is in the middle tone, as I told you. We're going to take some yellow and white. Every painting, whether you're doing landscapes or portraits, I don't care what you're doing, it has three tones, three major tones. Your dark, which is what we laid in, your middle tone, which is what we use to pick your petals out, and your light, which is that. We're going to go in here and just, there it is, there it is, there it is, boom, boom. Now, we don't want to put light on everything, just kind of here and there, where you think you might feel the light hitting. Notice how it had, with its petals, it's open like this. And it's inviting you in to look inside. As Georgia O'Keeffe once said, nobody really looks at a flower. It takes time to look at a flower. Like to have a good friend. It takes time. Take time to look at your flower, especially the rose. You could sit for hours and just amaze yourself at the construction of how it's constructed. I don't know. Hey, look at that stroke. Did you see that? Or did it go too fast? Watch, you push down and pull up. That indicates a petal that's flipped over, maybe another boing, and you just throw it in. Just throw it in. Another one here. I'm going to pick more lights up. Look at that fellow. He's really cooking. We're going to come down here to the bottom, and let's come down and put a little E. You see that little E? Okay, now let's stand back. Let's get on that other guy. We'll end this show and we'll only have one rose in there, and then you'll get upset with me. We're going to pick the belly out first. And now you know what to look for. You're going to be watching me and you're going to go, oh yes, I see where that vanishing point is. I don't even have to tell you anymore because you see it. Watch it go in. Now this white and phthalo red rose is being put on very dry. I just went down and picked up a little more white and phthalo red rose. Inside, boom, 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 boom. Don't spend a lot of time inside. It's not necessary. Out here and here. Now again, this is the middle tone. We don't want to put a petal in and then go and put our lights on and then put another petal in and put our lights on. Because if you do that, it's going to get way too busy. Now I'm just reaching down for more of the same. This is just good old white and phthalo red rose. Let's take a petal and curve it. Watch that. Can you see that stroke? And then tie into it. Remember that note we put on there in the beginning, that high note? It's still there, but now it's starting to peek out from underneath. Learn how to stroke up. It's a lot more difficult to stroke up than it is to stroke down. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. This is, again, the middle tone. Remember, we live in a society where we want everything now. We want to put our brush down and say, okay, I bought all the supplies, I bought all the videos and books and ding, a dong, a do, I've done all that stuff. Now, since I spent my money, I want a flower. Give me a flower. Well, it's not going to be that way. It takes you working with books. It takes you working with videos. Just because you own it doesn't mean it's going to be there. You have to work with it. And if you work with it, it'll be there. That's the law. I'm just picking up some more color down here. Now I'm going to mix more white. I'm going to come in here and, oh, look at that, go in. Now we're getting some punch. How do we, watch me curve. Let's put an edge in here where we're going to curve a petal over. A little crimson. And we're going to put, this is just crimson, I'm going to slip a little dark. Oh yeah, you see it? How it just brought that petal out. Yes, yes, well, I must have just dropped my watch. Okay, let's take a little more white. Boy, sometimes you just never know what's going to happen in the old studio. Look at that, can you see it? A little up in here. And a little in here. White, white. Oh, we've got some blue in there. I see we need to get that in a minute. But we've lost a couple petals way inside. So let's get that in. Ooh, almost missed you. Look at that. Look at that. We have to have mystery in your painting. Mystery. So you're not going to show every single petal with highlights on it, all that good stuff. Yeah. Oh, look at that. I must have picked up some yellow from someplace, but that looks cool. Now, I haven't used my blue. Let's take blue and some gray. And I want to find on the bottom of this belly a little blue in here. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Just a touch of blue. And then we're going to come up here and hit it. Boing! Can you see that nice, cool color in there? Yes. Maybe that cool color will be found over there. Just a hint of it. Don't get crazy and nuts with it. But floral painting is all color, color, color. That's why I paint flowers, because of the color. Catherine and my wife is going to be doing some of the shows down the way. And also, we paint exotic birds. We paint blue and gold macaws, parrots, if you will. I paint them because of the color. They're bright heads and they're bright blue wings, and they're just wonderful. And you can put them in tropical settings. So it's just great. Oh, we've got some rosebuds to put in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get that in there. Little green and yellow. Now, watch how we swing the brush around and up and turn. We might have another one down here. And turn. Let's highlight that. Highlight it. So it's always nice to bring out the stems in your painting just a little bit. You see that? Highlight. You see how it gives a little swing? As Duke Ellington once said, it ain't got that thing if it don't have that swing. Doo-dah, doo-dah, yes. Let's take a little crimson. We have a little bud over here. And we're going to put a little bud right there. And a little bud down there. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to come down and pick up some yellow and green. And put that little hood, which covers up most of the bud, but not the whole thing. And we have a little guy down here. There's a little greenery in the middle. And then it comes out. You see how it's out past the bud? Because there's bud under there. And then you turn it and come back and wiggle. Turn and wiggle. And there's your bud. And as it shoots back, you might want to darken it up just a little bit. So it goes back into shadow. Now I'm going to stand back here. Let's take a look at how we're doing. Ooh, let's take our red and orange. And remember our high note over here. I'm going to bring it out more. I want that note to sing. Sing me a song. And let's take some green and sienna and kind of cut some greenery over that. And another one here. So our high note is now in the background. It's still there, guys. But we don't want it to take over everything. We have some rose leaves on the bottom. Let's get a couple of those in. Green and sienna. Wiggle and come to a point. Angle towards the back. Mm-hmm. And there is a rose leaf. Simple, isn't it? If you're a beginner, sketch in the rose. Sketch in the leaf. Lay your brush down and wiggle to a point. Angle towards the back. Overlap your strokes. And there is another one. Yes. Even leave that little cut in it. Why not? Except I got a little line for my sketch, so I guess we better cover that. Now, let's see how we're doing. Oh, I wanted to bring out some more of those petals before. Because right in here, it might be going El Flato. That's okay. This is how you finish your painting up. Remember I said you don't want to highlight each petal as you're going along. But you want to be able to have the option of coming back and saying, oh, I want to highlight this one. Oh, I want to soften that one. So you're in full control of the painting. Yeah. I don't want to do any strokes on here. And I look at the tape later and go, uh-oh. Shouldn't have done that. I'm going to come in here and work on that little overlap. If your whites are popping too much, you can always use a blending brush to blend some of them out, but I think we're looking okay. A lot depends on your TV sets at home. If it's looking a little glary, you might want to set your color down a little bit. Now we're cooking. This is a prima donna. The one in the front should have most of the highlights. The one in the back can be a little more quiet. Yes. Oh, let's get our tip. Oh, you can hang your hat on that one. Whew. Yes, sometimes you can accent the tips. A lot of folks do that. Just don't get carried away. Whoop. You see? Okay, well, let's stand back. I think we did pretty good. We got everything in there. I see a little weird stuff in there. We might want to just kind of work it in, steal some time, soften up the inside. Well, there you are. I hope you enjoyed the show, and let's paint roses till we drop. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stop and smell the roses along the way, and I'll see you next time.
Er is een schitterend nieuw boek uit van Garry Jenkins. Boordevol tips en prachtige voorbeelden. U heeft dit nieuwe boek al in huis voor slechts €35. Of bestel voor dezelfde prijs de gloednieuwe 3-uurs DVD met Nederlandse ondertiteling. Garry Jenkins leert u alle geheimen van zijn schildertechnieken. Kijk voor bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of teletextpagina 332.